So, have you ever seen such a perfectly mediocre PC in your life as this? I'm feeling kind of sleepy just looking at it. Really, a nothing special about it at all. HP Pavilion p6607c with an Athlon 2, 4 gigs of DDR2. See, it's boring. This is a boring PC to talk about. Why am I bringing this up? Oh, hello there. So, you may be wondering, why do I have this PC? And the reason for that is actually revealed to us if you look on the top. This is from my old part-time job I used to have in college. It's from a business my uncle ran. And he has since moved on to laptops, and I think even those are starting to get replaced with tablets. But when the business all started, we had these huge things, and yes, they were a nightmare to deal with. You might be thinking, well, why would a desktop be all that bad? And the reason is, we had to bring it places. This wasn't just a desktop that you could keep sitting in an office or something. No, we had to bring this desktop with us to various locations, which meant it had to all fit in a box with its two, you heard me right, 2 monitors. And we had to deal with it. We had to put it together, take it apart, troubleshoot it, everything else. These were such a pain in my butt. And then one day, my uncle comes by and he's like, hey, you want this old desktop? I'm going to throw it out otherwise. And I try to be somewhat of a no-kill shelter for PCs because, I mean, like, okay, look, I've got PCs. If you remember that shot I did in the setting up this PC video, you'll remember I actually panned past this PC. And yeah, I don't like to throw out PCs if I can help it, especially ones that still work. And as far as I know, this one does work. And it should be relatively low hours because of the use case that it had. So it really just feels like a shame to get rid of it, you know? Like, I'm sure I can do something with this thing. Even if it's just restoring it so somebody can, you know, give it to their mom or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll just chuck it up on Facebook Marketplace for like $100 and see if anybody bites. Who knows? The point is, though, I'm going to be upgrading it a bit because, as is, it's kind of a boring PC. And you'll kind of see what I mean when we get in there. But I've actually, for this, acquired a nice CPU upgrade. This is a Phenom 2, and it's one of AMD's tri-core processors. I'm a big fan of the tri-cores. I know a lot of people like to crap on them for, you know, not being long-lived or whatever, but I think they're neat. I think they're interesting. And it'll give you something to talk about, if nothing else. And everything else that I'm going to be chucking in here, I just have, you know, sitting around the bench in terms of parts. So we'll see what I can do, how cool I can make it. And I'll even chuck it up on Facebook Marketplace and see if anybody buys it. I'll let you guys know at the end of the video if somebody does. But I guess without any further ado, let's get started. Hey, weirdly high-angled shot. You can see some of my junk off to the side. I'm still working on that half of the bench. Ignore it. Move this. This is actually an Atari 2600 power supply I was using to weigh down the webcam. But since it's way up here, it's actually being held in by my Cisco Ethernet. So you don't care about all that. Let's just get to the part you came for. So, this PC right here, I have some history with it. I already explained that. But I'm kind of curious to see how it is on the inside. Okay. Pretty standard. Let me get an instrument so I can point some stuff out. Okay, screwdriver. So, a couple of things to note. Number one, there's a ton of dust in this fan. I know you guys can't really see it that well, but holy crap, that is a dusty boy. We got a 500 gig, is that right? Yeah, 500 gig mechanical drive right here. Very standard, very run-of-the-mill, very uninteresting. Yawn. Anyways, we got a DVD drive up here, And look at this mess of a power supply situation we got going on here. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of zip tie cable management at all. I hate zip ties, just as a general rule. I will resist using zip ties as much as possible. People are like, oh, but it makes everything so neat. You know what else does? Velcro. And you know what Velcro can do that zip ties can't? Come apart easily and not risk you cutting a wire. Ugh. Either way, we just got a generic little Best Tech power supply. Nothing special. 240 volts. Which, I mean, for what it's going to be doing, most likely anyway, I wouldn't sweat it. Okay. Some really big dust bunnies down in here. I don't know how well you can see that. Kind of gross. But, I mean, you know, for how old it is, I kind of expect that. Now, let me grab it. Yeah, look at that. Ugh. Nasty. As for the rest, there's really not all that much to say. I mean, it's pretty bog standard for the time it came out in. I remember seeing a lot of PCs like this in people's houses back in the day. And for good reason. Like, especially this case design, I think my grandparents have the same desktop. Well, I guess at this point it'd just be my grandfather, but you get the point. This was a very, very common case design. HP must have sold, you know, millions of these things, because they're everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. There's actually more dust here than I would expect there to be, given the kind of low hours that it had. I'm not super concerned about that. Kind of sucks it only has 2 RAM slots. How much RAM is in here? 4 gigs. Oh, this thing has 8 gigs of RAM. Oh, rock on. Okay. I did not expect... What is it, DDR2? Yeah, DDR2. So this thing has 8 gigs of DDR2. That's actually a lot better than I thought it would. I thought for sure that this thing would be stuck with, like, you know, 2 gigs or something. Because according to the website I was looking at earlier, the standard configuration for this desktop is 1 gig. So I'm going to guess that my uncle, probably, since it's for his business, probably decided, you know what, 1 gig is really not enough, and I want to kind of future-proof this thing, so let's just chuck as much RAM in it as we can. And yeah, here we are. So now I'm curious about if A, the drive still works, and if it does, I want to know if the recovery partition's still on here. Because if it is, I might just, you know, use the recovery partition to set this thing up as factory. Not going to be too great. I mean, it should be serviceable. That's the decision, though, is people online are going to see Windows 7, they're going to be like, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess I could just chuck Windows 10 on here. But, I don't know. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll run the recovery partition on here, if it's still there. Kind of toy around with it so we can see what it was like when it was new. And when I get an SSD to put in here, we'll put Windows 10 and just not activate it. It'll be up to whoever buys it to buy that license. I ain't doing that for them. Not again. Okay. But now I'm kind of curious about, you know, what's going on, if it works and all that good stuff. So I'm going to switch back over to the tripod, and we're going to take a look on my little screen up here and see what's up. All right, so we're back. I got the desktop hooked up. You can see my monitor up here. We're going to see what happens when I let this beast have some power. Hopefully everything in here is working. Oh, yep, okay, so we get a screen. That's good. Hey, look at that. Boot screen for HP. All right. Oh, and it said F11 for system recovery. That makes me happy. Default BIOS settings. Boot manager is missing. That's not a good message. Yeah, that's not a reassuring message to get. Yeah, let me try F11 for system recovery. See if we can get taken into that. Boot manager's missing. Okay. That's not good. That means either the hard disk is dead or... Come on. F10, F10. Good setup. So that means either the hard disk... Password? Did I put this password on here? I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I did or not. Okay, there. Shoot. Okay, I'm seriously trying to figure out if I'm the one who put this password on here or not. I don't think I did, so that's great. Let's look up how to reset the password real quick. Though usually it's just a little jumper that you pull. So I'm gonna switch to overhead cam, and we'll just kind of seamlessly go like that. And here we are, overhead cam. Yeah, usually to reset the BIOS password, there's just a little jumper. So all I gotta do is figure out which... Oh, here we go, CMOS password. So, yeah, it's right here. Probably can't see that, but it's in here, I assure you. So what, is it going to be move it to the next position, or is it just going to be take it out to reset it? Or is it this? Hold on. Clear password. Okay. Hold on. It's got it written on the side. I can't quite read it. Clear CMOS. 1 and 2 clear CMOS. Okay. So I think it's actually this jumper set up here. So 1 and 2 is clear. 2 and 3 is default. So, okay. So I'm gonna try. Come on. Come on. Oh man. Those jumpers really, really don't like being taken off. Oh shoot. Oh, okay, there it is. I found it. We're good. For a minute, I was worried I lost a jumper, but nope, we got it. Okay. So 1 to 2 is to reset the password, which I think is that position. Let's see. All right, switching back to my regular camera, like that. Do we see anything on the screen? Okay, well, it's starting up all right. Let's see if that reset the password. Oh, hey, Henry just got here. And no, it doesn't seem to have reset it. Yep, okay. Nope, we know. It's okay. Okay, that didn't do it. Yeah, so that either means I got the wrong jumper or the wrong position. That's the thing. I don't know what position it wants. It says 1 and 2, which I thought that's what I was on, but maybe it's... Oh, shoot. Oh, you know what? Okay. I think I know what it is. I think I know what I did wrong. I think it's supposed to... Oh, I'm probably not going to snap every time we transition, by the way. I'll do it if I can remember. But yeah, Henry just got here. You probably heard his car just now. And let's see. Did that do what I hoped it would do? Okay. We see that graphics card starting up. We see the BIOS screen. Hey, Henry.
Hello.
Yes, that did it. Okay. No more BIOS password. Fantastic. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. We got it. So, now, let's take a look around. Primary video adapter, yep, we wanted to go through PCI. PCIe 16 slot, that is. PS2 mouse, yep, auto detect, onboard LAN. I wonder how fast the LAN is on this. Yep, stay off. Again, nobody ever enables virtualization, and I will never understand why. Boot time, that's fine. Again, that's fine. Okay, so it recognizes the hard disk. So, is it just blanked? I guess it's blanked. And I'm just gonna shut this back off real quick. But cool, okay, we got the jumper taken care of. Let me stop recording up there and move these jumpers back where they go. Oops. Okay, that's better. Yeah, it's just so convenient when all the information you need is right there on the motherboard. All right, I'm going to attempt to load the recovery partition again. And if it's not there, we'll have to move on to plan B. Okay, F11. Nothing's coming up. Okay. Okay. And, okay. We've reached an impasse. That either means the hard disk is dead, or... Hold on. I don't think it's dead. I'm going to reach inside and feel it. And see if I can feel it. Okay. So it must have been wiped. So remember how last time, when it came to the desktop over there, I was like, hey, make sure you wipe your drives. My uncle actually wiped the drive on this, to his credit. The downside to that is we don't have the recovery partition anymore, which means we can't play around in it. A little disappointing, but maybe somebody archived it. I'm going to check online for that. Okay, so after looking around online for a little bit to see if there was a recovery partition, nobody seems to have uploaded it. So maybe somebody has it, maybe they don't. I really don't know. The downside to that is, unfortunately, we won't be able to play around in factory Windows 7. I know. I'm absolutely devastated by that as well. But on the plus side, that means we can immediately move to having Windows 10 on here. Because I don't think Windows 11 is gonna like this PC too much, to say the least. It's possible I might be wrong, but I have a feeling it's not gonna like it, so, yeah. But, as for other things that I want to do with this, I think the next thing is I'm gonna jump online and get, you know, just a nice cheap little 128 gigabyte SSD, and we'll stick that in there and go from there. Well, I'll probably do the rest of the upgrades right now so we can kind of see what it is we're dealing with. Although I'd like to use an SSD I already have laying around if I can. I'm trying to think if I have one anywhere. You know what? I might. Give me just a second. I might. So, good news and bad news. The good news is I do have SSDs. The bad news is they're all M.2, which means they're not going to fit in here. Of course. Of course. So yeah, that really does put me in a bit of a pickle here about what I'm going to do. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. Okay. I just remembered something. Basically, my mom's old desktop had a 256 gig SSD in it. And I told her I'd give it a couple weeks before I wiped it. Nah, you know, I'm not going to put that in here. I'm going to use that somewhere else. Let's just keep the 500 gig hard drive in here. Let's just see how it performs. And we'll go from there. Knowing how Windows 10 tends to behave on mechanical drives, yeah, let's not go there. I have to deal with Windows 10 being on mechanical drives all the time at work, and let me tell you, they don't like each other. Windows 10 and mechanical drives are like, they really don't like each other. Let's drain all the capacitors before I go poking around in here. Okay. Yeah, I'm a bit wary about running it from a mechanical drive, but you know, I'm not looking to spend crazy money and pimp this thing out, especially if I'm just gonna sell it online, you know. But let's start. Actually, I'm gonna start by pulling out the graphics card in here because I noticed. Yeah, look at that. It spins okay, but man, those bearings are rough. Those are rough, man. That's probably going to make a lot of noise the second anybody tries to do anything. Yeah, I'm guessing anything beyond just booting this is going to make this thing loud. Ugh. Let me look. If this is worth saving, DDR2 1 gigabyte. You know, size, especially for graphics cards, and by size I mean capacity, isn't everything. And I'm betting you that 1 gig of DDR2 is going to be outshone by, say, half a gig of DDR4. Even though there's higher capacity here, it's going to be much slower. But fear not, we have some options. I'm going to e-waste that card. It doesn't seem like it's worth my time to restore. But let's look at some of the options I have. I've got this beast that I've been meaning to use like forever. Unfortunately, that wimpy power supply is not going to be able to drive this thing, like, at all. So I'd have to invest in a power supply if I wanted to use it in here. Trying to see if there's another PC that could use it. And the answer to that is no. I don't even know if it'll fit, honestly. Kinda. No, it won't fit. It will not fit. And that is the reason right there. Can you see that? Hold on, I think there's cables in the way. Let me move them. Yeah, that right there, that heatsink. It does an important job, but it's going to stop us from using that card. Oh, what's this? Surface mount cap came off of something. That's great. Let's hope that wasn't necessary for anything in here. I've got one of these little Radeon cards, but, I mean, that's not particularly exciting. And look, another one of these, but this one's low profile. And again, not particularly exciting. We got this thing. Again, not particularly exciting. I don't have a lot of interesting graphics cards laying around. I apologize for that. But what if I were to tell you that I actually do have a graphics card in mind for this already, and it's not any of the ones I just showed you? All of those were red herrings, if you will, because the one I want to use in here is actually this ATI Fire Pro. Now you might be looking at this being like, Mark, that looks weak as hell. Why are you putting that in here? Well, there's two things about this. For one, it may only have 256 megabytes of VRAM, but this is actually a vastly superior card to the one that was in there. Look at that, SLI bridging, built right onto it. But this particular card is fast, like really, really, really fast. Okay, so I've had a little bit of a think about what I want to do with this, and I also remembered that that graphics card I was showing you, while decent, is probably not the one I'm going to go with. That's because I actually have a much better option up here. Oh, geez, the eMac is in the way. Oh, God. Okay. Ugh. I got a whole bunch of really decent graphics cards here. Let's see. Where's the one I'm looking for? Here we go. Yes. Okay. This is it, I think. I think this one's it. Yep. This is a Barco graphics card. Pretty cool, huh? These little guys right here. Oh, boy. Let me tell you. These were like, $1,000+ when they were released. And, yeah. This thing is a bit of a monster in its day. It's the Barco MXRT 5200, which I think is just based on a generic NVIDIA card. Or not NVIDIA, ATI. It's ATI. It says ATI right here. I'm an idiot. But, yeah, this is a good card, and it's probably going to fit this system pretty well. I'm just looking up to see if I can find the specs about it. Here we go. Yep, 512 megabytes of VRAM. And it's being powered by a Radeon, ATI Radeon RV6300. And the memory is GDDR4. Remember the other one was just regular DDR2? I think this is going to be a bit faster. Now, of course, this one's going to lack the fancy HDMI out. I know, what a tragedy. But it does have 2 DVI-D ports, which means they can be adapted into pretty much anything you want. So I don't think whoever gets this is going to be missing out on all that much. Because I even think... No, okay. So yeah, I think this is a perfectly serviceable card. Especially for the type of PC it's going into. This is a fast card, this is a powerful card, this is a good card. It's going in there. It's going to be powering this bad boy. So I'm just going to put that up here for the moment, and let me take the old one and stick it in the box with its brethren. I got a whole bunch of those. Got a whole bunch of those Barco cards recently, and yeah. Figured reuse is a good type of recycle because I was asked to dispose of them. But I was like, these cards could still be useful. Why would we throw them out? And so I got permission to keep them. Pretty cool. Let's take this hard drive cage out. I'm never a big fan of these cages. I think they just take up a lot of room in the case for no good reason. Probably help if we disconnect the hard drive first. Oh, geez. It's clipped in there, of course. Okay. And then there's a little release lever here. And now, yep, it just pulls right out. Oh, these cages. I'm too used to these things, guys. I've been in the game too long. And yep, it is It's pretty dusty on the bottom here. I don't know if you guys can... Yep. Pretty dusty down there. Yeah, less than ideal, let's say. But honestly, I've seen much worse, so I'm not overly... I'm trying to think of the right words to say here, because it's like, I've seen much worse, but I've seen much better, too. I really am surprised with just how dusty it is, considering I know for a fact it spent most of its life sitting on a shelf doing nothing. The only times it was, like, taken out to work were, just on a few occasions. Inside here is actually pretty clean. This is usually where a lot of dust gathers. So I guess the dust that it has collected is standing dust. Because I have a feeling if it was, regular, like used dust, all of this would be filthy in here. And I do mean that. These get disgusting in here. But, yeah, and sure enough, looking at the front cage here, that's pristine, man. There's nothing going on there. So let's strip this down, huh? What would you guys say to a little strip down montage? Cool. Okay, so that was actually not too bad. I'm kind of surprised that it came out as easily, like everything came out as easily as it did. Like, for instance, I thought for sure I was going to have more trouble with some parts. Especially, like, the power supply. When I saw it was all zip-tied, I was like, oh god, zip ties. But it actually came out pretty easy. So, hey, I'm impressed. And actually, this thing isn't even all that dirty. It's mostly just down the bottom here, which only further leads me to believe that it's sitting dust. It's not like, dust from it being sucked in through the fan all the time and making it dusty. I don't know if what I'm saying is making any sense, but yeah, dust can either be because, it's running and the fans are bringing in dust all the time, or dust because it just sits around and does nothing. This seems to be the latter, which matches up with what I know about this PC. It mostly sat around. And yeah. Oh yeah, even just one pass with this cloth, and look at that. That's gross. And this is just like a garage rag I keep out here too. Like, this isn't anything fancy. Like, I think this probably even has like an oil stain or two on it. Ugh. But hey, it's getting everything out, so that's good. How's that fan look? I've seen better. Might take that fan out and clean it a little better. Because, yeah, honestly, that one pass with the rag took care of, like, 99% of the dust in this thing just on its own. So, color me impressed with that. That's pretty good. But seeing as, that's that, let's take a look at the other parts. Moving on to the motherboard here, it's actually pretty small. Like, it's kind of hard to get a sense of scale when it's in the case, but out of the case, here, let me find something common to compare it to. How about my phone? So here's my phone. It's not very big. It's actually quite small, but it is also quite caked in dust. Like, let me lift this up. See all those capacitors? Ooh. Fortunately, none of them look bulged. It just seems like they're all dusty. And I do have ways of dealing with that, but wow, that is some dust. And look at that! Look in the fan here. I don't know if you can see that, but that is, oh man, yeah, that's gross. This is definitely gonna need cleaned. I might have a replacement for it sitting around. I'll have to look. But yeah, that's definitely gonna need cleaned in a lot of ways. Oof. So this is going to be the biggest bugbear, I think. The power supply, in contrast, is actually pretty clean looking. Like, yeah, there's some dust up here. You probably won't even see it if I wipe it. Yeah, it doesn't look any different on camera, but in person, it's a lot less dusty. And I think I'm just going to hit this with the compressed air, because honestly, outside of that, there's not a whole lot I can do for it. One annoying thing about HPs of this era is that they all use these screws, which can be flatheads, but they're designed to fit perfectly with a T15 Torx driver. So, not sure what that's about, but I don't like it. Why would you do this, HP? Why? The only thing that uses regular Phillips heads are the case fan. That's the only thing that uses a Phillips driver. Everything else is Torx. Or I guess flathead if you want to try that. But who's going to try that? Man, I hate that. I hate when they do that so much. And like looking at this power supply too. Look at this. Look at this. It's just an adapter to SATA. Both of them are. This is an IDE power supply that they've rigged to work with this machine. If I still had spare power supplies, I'd probably swap one. Actually, I might. Let me see. Do I have one? I do have one. Check it out. I have this light on one. And this one is definitely much better suited for this PC. Look at that. It's like actually got SATA. And look, a graphics card power adapter? Yo! Okay. Okay, suddenly this got a lot more exciting. So if we use this power supply, and look, it's got the appropriately sized, oh crap, actually that might be too big. Where's the motherboard? Let me make sure this is the right size before I go and start making plans with it. Wrong orientation, is that it? Sorry, I'm going to try to get this into frame. Yep, nope, that fits. Okay, so I'm using this light on instead, because that is a much better power supply for this thing. Yeah, this thing is rated for 300 watts. And this one's only 200 something, right? Where does it say? I know I read it on here. Come on, I know I read it. Oh, 250 watts. So the wattage is similar, but this is a Light-On, which is a brand name I know. This is Best Tech, which doesn't sound like Best. It sounds like the Walmart brand of power supply, honestly. And I would feel much better using this in it if I can get away with it. I do see one potential problem, and this has a Dell part number on it. And sometimes Dell branded things don't tend to get along with non-Dell branded things. So we'll see if this one's going to work. I might have to go back to the Best Tech. If I do, oh well, I do. I'm hoping I don't, and I can save this for like an older PC. Like, you know, a true Windows XP machine or something. I'm really hoping I can do that. If I can't, then, well, I suppose I can't, and there's not really all that much to say about it. But, hey, you know, hopefully it works. I also, for a while, I'm sorry, I had a thing with power, that I kept my power supplies in like a crate, and it wasn't going back in. something was in the way, and I got it moved. But where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I had spare power supplies for quite a while, but I finally run out of them. And they were all just ones that I salvaged from PCs that died in one way or another, but the power supply was still good. Like, I had one that I actually gave to a coworker of mine, and it was a really good power supply, too. It was like, 600 watt. I think it was only bronze certified, because, it's a little bit of an older one, but still, pretty good power supply. And she's using it. She's actually using that PC. Former coworker, anyway. But, oops. She was like, yeah, I'm going to have to buy a new PC. And I'm like, oh, why? What happened? She's like, oh, it doesn't turn on, blah, blah, blah. And so I said, hey, bring it to work. I'll fix it. And sure enough, we fixed it. Instead of her paying like $600 for a new PC, we spent like, I think it was like $70 for a 1 terabyte SSD or so. Actually, it might have been like 40 for a 500 gig one. I don't even remember for sure. But whatever the case is, she spent a little bit and ended up getting a much better PC than she probably would have gotten if she had bought one new for the price that they wanted. Okay, I'm going to do a test fit of this real quick because I'm not entirely convinced that 4-pin is going to reach where it needs to reach. And that is going to be, I think, the biggest determiner of whether or not this power supply is going to work. Oops. Let's get it lined up. Okay. If this works, I'm going to be pretty excited because this is a much, much better power supply, like I said. And I want whoever gets this PC to be able to happily use it for, at least a few years without worrying about that cheapo power supply blowing up. And if I can guarantee that by using this, then hey, that's excellent. Will it reach? Oh no, look. Oh no, can you see that? Can you see how close that is? Oh, that is devastating. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. Gotta use the cheaper power supply. Yeah, I probably could buy a new power supply. But honestly, I'm trying to do this for as little money to myself as possible. Like, you guys gotta understand, I only make so much money a month. I need money to live. And while I could probably get a nice power supply and like a really good SSD and stuff for this, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna do that. I just don't think it's worth it. Maybe the SSD might be worth it. I might still buy an SSD for it at the very least, because no SSD in 2021 is probably going to be akin to torture. I'm sorry, 2022. It's March and I'm still saying that. Unbelievable. But I'm going to fast forward a bit to when I've dusted the motherboard and the power supply out, and we'll go from there. Hey, quick interruption, but as I was dusting, my can of dusting spray fell, and yeah, it does still work, but I have to hold it like right here. Well, yeah, for that, and kind of hurts my finger. Plus, this thing is frigid now. Ugh. Fortunately, and I do mean fortunately, it lasted long enough for me to do most of the cleaning I needed to do. Look how much better this looks. Yeah. Yeah. That looks almost brand new now. There's still a little bit of dust trapped up in here. Actually, I think I could probably get that out with the puller. Can I? Aha, look at that. That's the last big chunk that was in there. There's still a little bit more in there that I can see, but I'm not super worried about it because this is going to have to come off anyway. So, hey, no big deal. And I found that cooler. I said, you know, I think I have a replacement, but yeah, that's oops, that's not even remotely close to the right size. This must be an older cooler. I have no idea where it came from either. It's just been chilling out here for, well, since I've moved in, basically. No idea what it's from, what it's for, why I have it, etc. But let's go ahead, move that off, and let's go ahead and change out the CPU. I'm pretty sure I checked beforehand, you know, before I bought this thing. I'm pretty sure I did anyway. I can't imagine I would not have anyway. That doesn't seem like something I'd do. So, cool. Fortunately for us, these AMD coolers are actually really easy to take off. I'd say much easier than their... Come on. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that pathetic factory... Oop, sorry, fan's still plugged in. But yeah, look at that pathetic factory application. Like, man, talk about cheap. Well, there's still some dust hanging around. We'll have to fix that. Yeah, I can see more of the dust in here too, clinging. You guys see that? Kinda. Well, either way, it's all going to get cleaned out now. I'm going to take this out for one more round of dusting of BRB. Okay, much better. I'd say about 99% of the dust is gone now. Great. The less dust, the better for all of us, right? Alright. Oops. Always forget my cotton balls are in the middle tier. I always think they're in the top. But no, it's my Q-tips that are in the top. And gloves go in the blueberry section. I think that's a good place for them. I think the bottom being gloves is a good choice. You can feel free to disagree with me. Okay. You may be thinking, well, you have isopropyl alcohol now. Why are you still using the acetone? Habit. Also, like I said in the other video, I think it cuts through CPU thermal paste better. Anyway. Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's really interesting, actually. Okay. I wonder if that's coming across on camera. Doesn't look like it. I think I'll have to hold that up to show you what I'm talking about. But that is super, super interesting. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. And cap back on the acetone. Still a little more, not out yet. So yeah, can you see that? Yeah, there it is. You see how there's like dark splotches on the CPU? Actually, it's probably easier if I just take it out and show it to you. Yeah, look at that. Apparently, the thermal paste has been on there so long it has discolored the heat spreader. That is fascinating. I didn't even know that was something that could happen. And here's our new one. We're going from an Athlon 2 to a Phenom 2. Ooh. Improvements. Oh, there's the old one. If you want that old CPU, it'll be on eBay in the near future. Good luck finding it. And just like that. Ta-da! We have a complete socket AM2 with a Phenom 2 now. Ah, much better. Honestly, why would you not put a Phenom in when you have the choice? Why would you do an Athlon? Well, I know why HP did it, because, you know, probably saved them a lot of cash. But as a consumer, why would you not do it? I'm also going to prepare my Windows 10 flash drive while I'm thinking about it. Because... come on, get in there. There we go. Not sure if you guys even heard that. Oh, this is my Windows Server flash drive. Oh, I've got Windows Server on there. Kind of don't want to erase that one. I have another one out here? Yes, I do. I got this one. Let's see what's on it. I've got a lot of flash drives. When you've been into computers and stuff as long as I have, people tend to give you flash drives. Oh, this is a Lubuntu USB. Interesting. Okay, well, that's not a big deal.
Hey, are you going to walk the dog?
Okay. As always, people are curious about what's going on out here. Also, I gotta walk the dog in a bit, so I'm probably not going to be at this for too much longer, but I'm getting Windows 10 downloaded and put onto me USB so we can see what all is going on with this PC. Where was I? Oh, yes. Nice little tri-core chip in here. It's I think it's clocked a little higher, a little lower. I don't remember. I think it's clocked a little higher than the one that was built on here originally. So, you know, you get a little bit of let's not do that. Yep, 64-bit, that's fine. Yep, that's also fine. That's also fine. Okay. Sorry, the Windows 10 creation tool is kind of annoying. But, hey, now I'm kind of like looking at this. This does look a little thin for a tri-core. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. It's probably fine. It's probably fine with this heatsink, but I guess we can look at the temps after the fact, right? And if we decide this is too wimpy, I can just buy a new one and stick it on there. As much as I said I didn't want to get a new CPU cooler, I might have to. My hands might be tied here. Really hoping that's not the case. Alright, where's my thermal paste? Okay. A little bit of Arctic silver on here. And these you want to be really careful about, because these AMD chips run pretty hot. At least in my experience, they do. There we go. Put a little down like there. Just for good luck. Well, remember, guys, with thermal paste, less is more. Unless it's an older chip, then you want to use more. More is more in that case. What a concept. Really hoping this is going to be enough. I guess we'll find out. But, you know, it's going to be an interesting experience either way. Either it's going to be plenty and I'm just completely overthinking this, or we're going to have an overheating computer on our hands in no time. But yeah, really hoping it's going to be okay. I'm pretty sure it will be. Oh, crap. That's why it felt weird. I hate these. I hate this clip design. I hate this almost as much as I hate those Intel clips where they like just push through and then you just like there's a little wimpy piece of plastic and you just kind of twist it. Oh, those annoy me so much. I can never get all the clips through properly on those. Well, I can, but only after like 10 minutes of struggling with it. At least with these AMD ones, once you get it over the hump, it's okay. Like, see, that's fine. That's now on there. But, yeah, see, I can even pick it up by that. So that should be fine now. But, annoying. Okay, what's next? Ah, yes, I actually wanted to do the graphics card as well. You may think, well, why are you doing that? There's heat pads on it. Thermal pads. I don't know how well you can see that, but there are thermal pads here. And yeah, I could probably get away without repasting this, but... So I've restored this graphics card, and I've cleaned out the desktop. Let's see if we can get it to boot. If I can get it to boot and show an image on my screen up here, then I think we'll be in good shape. So how about another montage? Sound good? Cool. Oh, okay. Not sure if you guys could see, but I did kind of struggle with putting a couple of things in here because I tried for a bit more cable management, basically. And I'd say largely I succeeded. It does look somewhat better than it did before. At least I think it does. Yeah. Here, let me rotate this so you guys can see a bit better. Yeah. See, I think that looks better than it did. At least a little bit. You know, it doesn't have to be a huge improvement. Any improvement is still an improvement, right? So, here's the plan. I'm going to boot off that Windows 10 USB I just made. And let's check it out and see if there's anything... Well, we'll see if there's any partitions on here. That's kind of what I'm curious about. And also, I noticed something's up with the side case here. It's not really fitting back into place well. I'm not really sure why. How did this happen? I probably shouldn't spend too much time on that because I'm going to open it up again anyway, but it's weird. It's like it got bent or something. Probably from being carried around, because if you remember what I said about these, they got transported places. So this was a mobile beast, for better or for worse. I'm thinking in this case it's for worse. But before we boot into Windows, I kind of want to look at some of the expansion cards I have. See if there's anything worth putting in here. So I got my Firewire card. I'm saving this for a special occasion because this was like 30 bucks. I'm going to use that. I got my Sound Blaster. I want to keep that as well. Here's a Ethernet card. This thing has Ethernet. I don't need that. This is actually a SCSI controller. Again, we don't really need that. This is my Sound Blaster Audigy 2. I'm definitely keeping that. And hey, look at this. It's another SCSI controller. Yeah, okay. A modem. Not sure what this connector is, but it came with an external hard drive kit that was missing some pieces, and the card is the only thing I kept of it. Here's another 10100 NIC, and another SCSI card. Okay, so basically, I don't have anything I want to put in there. What a tragedy, I know. You know, I do actually have one more expansion card. Hang on. Where did you go? Yep, there it is. And it's this tiny little gigabit card. Neat. Unfortunately, it's low profile. This is a full-size machine. Not going to fit in there. I think I have a wireless card I can stick in here, which I'm sure the next owner would appreciate. Some built-in Wi-Fi. I mean, who doesn't? Am I right? Yeah, so I've got this one, and I've got this one, and yeah, all the rest of... No, hold on, I got one more. I've got this one. If I remember right, one of these two is a pain in the butt to get drivers for. I don't remember which one, though, but one of them is just an absolute pain in the butt to get drivers working properly. And then look at this little thing. Seriously. What did I pull this thing out of? What? I can't even tell. This has got to just be like a G card. Or maybe like a revision 1N or something. Because it's definitely not dual band. Okay. Which leaves these two. Is it really worth putting a wireless G adapter in anything anymore? I don't know. I think that might be a little too slow for these modern times. Wireless G was great back in the day, but that was back in the day. I mean, it's probably going to be fast enough. I could probably stick one of these in here, and whoever got it wouldn't complain too much. I mean, at the very least, it'd be convenient for them. We'll have to do a little bit of research and think about that. Fortunately, though, as I mentioned, our Windows 10 USB is complete. So I can stick that in the front USB here. And we can hook up a keyboard and a mouse, and I can shift to camera B, and we can record another installation process. Because I know you guys just love watching those. If you watched the last one I did. I mean, hey, you put up with that. Why wouldn't you put up with this one, right? Oh. I overlooked something, though, and that is I need a DVI to VGA adapter. No. Turn back off. Nobody asked for you to be on. It's not time yet. Turn off. Okay. But like I said, I need a DVI to VGA adapter. I think I have one. Let me see if I have one. Okay, so I know I have one somewhere, but it's not where I thought it was. I might have to go look in the other room and see if I can find that. So, oh no, things are falling. Yeah, like I said, I know for a fact I have one somewhere around here. I just gotta figure out where on earth I put it. So I'll tell you what, we'll come back to this. Alright? Another time. Because it's already 8:40. I gotta walk the dog. So, it won't be long for you guys. Or, yeah, it won't be long for you guys, but it'll be like another day or so for me. So, okay, good news. I found one. We can try and install Windows on here now. I actually have no idea how well this is going to work. I mean, I have no doubt that Windows will install just fine. Because, I mean, you know, it's Windows. It's kind of hard to not have updates go... Updates. Sorry, my all-in-one said, hey, you have updates that need to be installed. And I'm like, piss off. I'm not doing that right now. But, yeah. I'm curious to see how quick this installation's going to go. And furthermore, if it's going to find the USB okay. I think it should. Like, I see no reason for it to struggle with that, but you never know. Okay. I'm not hearing a beep. That's not a good sign. Okay, all the fans are just going crazy. Okay, something went wrong here. Let's switch to the overhead cam and see what's going on. Okay, we've switched to the overhead cam. So, when I tried to turn it on, it just, you know, started blowing a bunch of air out. So I want to know, what did I screw up? Because chances are, I probably did screw something up. And I was actually watching a bit of my one of my inspirations for this kind of content today. A YouTube channel that goes by UXW Bill. I quite enjoy his content. It's very chill. It's the same kind of atmosphere I want to make. So let's see if I can at least be halfway competent as he is. So let's start up. And yep, all the fans go crazy. The hard drive spins up. Okay, I don't really see anything wrong. So, seeing as that's the case, I'm going to take a wild guess here and say maybe the graphics card is bad. It's entirely possible. Let's try swapping it out for that other one I had before. See if it likes that one better. And no, I don't mean the original one, because the original one is terrible. I dropped this. Perfect, I dropped the retaining screw. I'm going to have to go dig that up later. Luckily, I think I know exactly where it fell, so that part shouldn't be too hard. Geesh, okay. So yeah, something's up with that graphics card. Let's try a different one. Fortunately, as you saw before, I have a lot of graphics cards. Let's try this one. It's much smaller, looks like it'll probably fit in there better. And honestly, for the kind of person that's most likely going to end up with this PC, I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal that it's, you know, not quite as strong as the other one. Any dust in there I should be worried about? No, it looks pretty good. And, okay. Yeah, looking in the middle, it's using a thermal pad, not paste. So I don't have to worry about repasting this one. Let's just try throwing it in there. See if it likes that one any better. I hope it does. Oh, I also came to the conclusion that, again, because this is going to just like, you know, the common person, I don't think they're going to be too bothered by being stuck at wireless G speeds. Since most of their equipment, let's face it, is probably running at G speeds anyway. Then the question is, which of these do I go with? The Dynex or the Linksys? I'm going to try for the Linksys here and see if that gets me anywhere. Before I install it, though, I'm going to do something I used to always do, which is take a picture of it so I can reference in case I need drivers. I don't anticipate this being a problem in Windows 10, but you never know. I just consider it good practice at this point. And look at that, it allows me to use that lone PCI slot for something useful, instead of it just sitting empty forevermore. Cool. And let me get an antenna out. I know I have antennas in here. Yep, here's one. Right there. Probably not the most impressive antenna in the world, but hey, I don't think they'll be complaining too much by having wireless built in. I know a lot of people would kill for that feature, especially back when this would be more relevant. Okay, let's see if it starts up now. Okay, something's happening. Oh, fans equalized. Anything on the screen? Oh, numlock came on the keyboard. I think we're in business. Oh, I forgot to plug in the graphics card. Yep, okay, cool. I see something on the screen, so this graphics card is bad. Something happened to it. So, oh well. To e-waste this one goes. Not super bothered by that. It happens. So let me put the side back on here and find that screw, and we'll go ahead and go through installing it. Okay, back to the lower view, and I've got it pointed at the monitor. Let's install Windows, shall we? Now that we know that's working, and it was just some weird anomaly, I'm hoping that... Oh, it's escape. It's escape. There we go. I'm hoping that on this particular PC, the hard drive is going to be, you know, not in terrible shape. Because if the hard drive is at least in okay shape, then I'll feel comfortable using it instead of buying an SSD. And what's going on? Interesting. It's reading from the USB, but nothing's happening. Huh. Okay. Let's try switching the port that it's in. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it doesn't like booting from the front USBs. Maybe it's got to be in the back. Some PCs are picky about that, especially ones of this vintage. Not that this one's super vintage or anything. And I guess by UXW bill standard, this wouldn't even be a real PC since it doesn't have a floppy disk. But then again, you won't find many PCs that do these days. Alright. Boot again? No? Something's happening. Yeah. Okay. That didn't work. Great. Okay, fear not, I've got one more idea. Okay, so, yeah. I stopped the montage, and as you can see, it's still going. And, yeah, this hard drive is probably not going to work out for us. I mean, look at this. It's been going for over 20 minutes at this point. 20 minutes. Like, dude, come on. There's a limit to how much people are willing to wait, and I think we've reached it. Like, this hard disk has definitely seen better days. I'm just gonna say that right now. So I think I'm gonna jump on Amazon and order Just a 128 gig SSD for this thing, because holy crap. Trying to use this 500 gig drive is no bueno. This is way too slow. Like, this is unacceptably slow. And, you know, people aren't stupid. They're going to see how slow this is. And they're going to be like, oh, no, it's a terrible buy. So, we're going to put an SSD in here. Again, I'm only going to do 128 gigs, but yeah. Which means we got to install Windows again. Okay, hear that? That's why the hard drive's not working. It's faulty. Hooray! Let's remove the hard disk and get rid of it, shall we? I'm going to switch to the overhead cam. Okay, so I decided I'm going to use the 256 gig drive my mom had in this thing. It's an SSD. And the reason I'm going with that is simply put, the mechanical drive in here, while healthy, it's too slow to be the main OS drive. So I was getting infuriated with how slow it was going. Plus, I mean, the wireless card wasn't being picked up, so I mean, there's some other stuff going on in here that I want to check out. Because, you know, if it's too annoying for me to want to use, like if it's too slow for me to want to use, I can't imagine, you know, the average person being like, yeah, no, this is fine. This is absolutely fine. Let's go with this. And, you know, I'm building this for, you know, just like an average person. It's not like it's going to be some kind of crazy fast enthusiast PC that can run, I don't know, Elden Ring at like 500 frames a second or whatever. But at the same time, it needs to be zippy enough to where you wouldn't want to hate using it. You know? So I think I'm going to go with this card instead, which I just took a picture of it so I could get the model number in case the driver doesn't pick up. Which I have a feeling it's probably not going to. Because, let's face it, well, actually it might. I don't know, because I know in Windows 7 this driver was a pain to get going. So I'm hoping in Windows 10 it's just in the driver database now. And I don't have to worry about trying to, what is it? You know, I won't, blah, 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 blah. I'm hoping I won't have to mess around with driver downloads to get that thing going, but hey, you never know. You never know. The other thing I'm going to do while I have this off is I'm going to take a picture of the Windows 7 key, and I'm going to attempt to activate Windows 10 using the Windows 7 key. I have no idea if that's going to work or not, but I figure, hey, it's worth a shot, right? You never know. Get out of there. Okay. Yeah, I figure it's worth a shot. Worst case scenario, it just doesn't work. And you know what? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I would like to have Wi-Fi working on here, but if I can't get it working, I guess I'll pick up a cheap USB one or something and try that instead. But I'm going to be, probably to my detriment, optimistic about the chances of this thing working. You know, I'm probably going to get burned for that, because that usually seems to be the case, is anytime I'm too optimistic about a tech project, it decides to prove me wrong right then and there for having that optimism. So, you know, I'm hoping that won't be the case, but you never know with this type of thing. And where did my screw... Are you kidding me? Where did my screwdriver... Oh, there it is. Found it. I'm actually kind of surprised that this particular project is taking so long. I kind of expected this one to be, you know, knocked out in a day or two. I didn't think this was going to be an ongoing project. that lasted me, like, at this point, I've been working on this for 8 or 9 days now. Like, it's been a while since the first clip of this was recorded. And I gotta say, I'm actually kind of shocked by that fact. I really was hoping that this would just be a quick one-and-done project, and that I wouldn't be still working on it now. Because, I mean, let's face it, do you really expect to still be working on what you consider to be a minor project days and days out? I sure don't. But yeah, this mechanical drive does seem to be good, which is a good thing. It means I can use it somewhere else for data storage or something, but I definitely am not going to trust it to be the OS driver. And that's simply because it's a bit too slow for that. Like, I don't know, just the difference between the speeds of the SSD and the speeds of a humble mechanical like this now are to the point where I'm spoiled. And I have a feeling a lot of other people are going to be spoiled by, like, their smartphones and stuff. And if this can't at least be as fast as a smartphone, I think they're gonna, regret their purchase. And I don't want that to happen, because if that happens, well, I don't make a sale. So I think it's better to just throw in this SSD, which I didn't really even have any plans for anyway, than, risk them being super unhappy with the PC that they buy. But I'm hoping with this SSD it'll be a nice balance between speed and, honestly, okay, another reason I'm doing this is because I think, anyway, that a PC should never be bottlenecked by its drive. If it's going to be bottlenecked by anything, it should be either the graphics or the processor. But the storage medium should not be one of those things it's bottlenecked by. Not in the year 2022, anyway. Maybe in, like, 2002, that'd be fine. Or even 2012. I mean, let's face it, in 2012, most people I knew did not have SSDs because they were too damn expensive. But in an era where you can get a brand new SSD for $20, there's really no reason for you to be bottlenecked by your drive. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. It'd be like buying a brand new car and having it, I don't know, only get like 16 miles to the gallon. Like, you'd expect better from a car built today. Maybe, 20, 30 years ago, it'd be just fine to get a car that only got that much MPG. But, yeah, in 2022, no, it needs to do better. And simply put, that is what I'm going to do for this thing, is make sure it has enough speed to be reliable. And hey, look at that, I finally got to use that stupid drive cage that I wanted to use. And of course, a plane picked a perfect time to fly overhead, so I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. People really do like to pick the most inopportune of times to make loud, obnoxious noises. Not that I'm blaming the pilot or anything, they're just doing their job. It's just that's how things happen. Every time I want some quiet, something loud and obnoxious has to happen. And it's always just to my detriment. Well, I shouldn't say always. Sometimes it's actually to my benefit. Like if somebody's talking about something I really don't want to listen to, which does happen. I mean, come on, we're human. But, yeah. Here, I think another thing I'm going to do while I have this down is I'm going to tighten the thumb screws onto the, like of the DVI to VGA adapter. I'm going to tighten that up. And we'll see. There we go. Alright, come on. Come on there. There you go. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and tighten that up. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you really can't see that, huh? Yeah, that's what it looks like back here. I'm just going to try and tighten these screws down a little bit so it doesn't, you know, come off, since this is what we want to use. I will say another thing too. This reminds me of working on another project I did years ago, except I was trying to sell an XP computer in an era when Windows 7 was dominant and Windows 8 was about to come out. And I actually did get an offer for that PC, but in the end I decided not to sell it. I kept it simply because it had a really, for that PC anyway, a really good graphics card. And so I figured, oh, I could probably do something with this. And wouldn't you know, I kept the graphics card, and the PC ended up dying. So here, let me just get a quick pic of the Windows 7 key while I have it standing up. No, I will not show you the Windows 7 key because I'm hoping to use it. Hopefully, I can use it to activate Windows 10. I heard even up until like a couple years ago you could do that, so I'm hoping that's still the case. And if it is, then hey, cool. One less thing I got to worry about. If I can't activate it, I guess I can't activate it. What are you going to do? But, you know, if I can, then cool. All right, I'm going to switch to the other camera now, and we're going to go through installing Windows 10 again. But this time it should be a lot faster. Okay, and we're back. Hello. All right, you ready to install Windows 10 again? For what, the third time on this PC? We're going to be using the DVD again, because for whatever reason this thing just does not like to cooperate with the USBs that I create. Oh, you know what? It would probably help if I plugged in the power. PCs tend to work better when they have electricity, don't they? Alright, jam F10, jam F10. No. I need you. Thank you. Okay, now you may close. Alright. Alright, and it looks like the, rude. I was going to say it looks like the CMOS battery might be dead. So, I'll have to change that too. No big deal, I suppose. I mean, I got a Costco pack of them for exactly this purpose. Oh, I bumped the tripod. The world is now ended. But yeah, seriously, I go through so many of those stupid batteries. It's unbelievable. So, come on. Come on. Come on. You know you want to. It sure is thinking about it. See, this is why we moved to using USB to install Windows, because good lord, this takes so long for no good reason. Oh yeah, and check out this weird adapter I found. It's like HDMI on this end, but it breaks out to DVI, which is interesting. I can think of some use cases for something like this, but man, that's got to be a niche thing to need. I mean, certainly like a whole cable would probably be better, right? Or am I tripping? I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Come on. Come on, you know you want to. Yeah, it's definitely reading the disc. I can hear it humming along just fine. Oh, there we go. There's Windows. Okay. Only took a few minutes to load. Emphasis on a few minutes. Cool. Alright, let's use the mouse. Let me free the mouse. There we go. Okay. Install now. I really hope whoever gets this PC is grateful for all the work we're putting in right now, because, ooh boy, this has been a lot. Okay, I'm gonna try putting in the key and see what happens. Hey, surprise of surprise, it took the license. So, cool. Alright. I'm going to assume that's a good sign. And then we can just go ahead and clear all these. I've gotten the clear to recycle this drive, so hey, that's what we like to see. And let's go. All right, montage time. Okay, so check this out. We're already at this screen here. And that was a lot quicker than even that last mechanical was. The last mechanical took about 14 minutes to get to this screen. The other drive never got here. This took about 9 minutes and 40 seconds to get here. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, I definitely feel like we made the right choice putting the SSD in here. It's going to help a lot. Of course, it's not picking up the wireless right away. I'm just going to say I don't have internet. Again, because I really want to just have local. I really want to just set up a local account. So I'm just going to call this... what should I call this one? Let's just call it buyer. And we'll skip the password. Whoever ends up buying this can, you know, do what they want with it later. I'm gonna deny all this. Accept. Not now. Definitely don't want Cortana. That's just annoying, unnecessary nonsense that this PC really doesn't need to deal with. But hey, look at that. Let's see how fast it gets to the desktop from here. Because if you remember, it was a little slow getting past this part. But I'm curious to see if this is going to be faster on the SSD. Pro tip, it's almost definitely going to be faster than the mechanical drive, unless this SSD is failing. But I have no reason to believe that this SSD is failing, so probably it's going to be just fine. So, cool. Might take several minutes. Might take several minutes. Might still take several minutes. I promise there's an SSD in here. I guess this initial setup is just... Well, to be fair, it's slow like this pretty much all the time, so I guess that's fine.
Almost there.
Hey, looks like Henry has joined us. What's up, Henry?
Is that 11?
Nope, this is 10.
Oh.
This PC can't run 11.
No computers can, I swear.
This one's just a bit too old. But, hey, I can plug in the Ethernet now that setup's over.
Couldn't before?
Because it would force you to create an online account. And I don't want to do that because I'm selling this PC.
Oh.
And let's go ahead and take the disk out. And hey, check it out. We are on the desktop. Let's see, other than the graphics driver, which we know didn't install properly, let's see what else didn't install properly. Oops. Because I know at least one other thing didn't. Oh, and hey, look at that. It's already fetching drivers the second we plug it in. So yeah, we know that's not working.
Madden 2, Madden 03.
Yep. Is it really still not recognizing the wireless card in here? Is the PCI bridge driver not working or something? Well, not to worry. We can always look up the driver for that later and get wireless working just fine. The one I'm most worried about is the graphics driver, though. I want that to work. If that works, everything else will be okay. And, hey, look at that. ATI Fire Pro. So, pick that up. Cool. So, I'd say this is about ready to roll, honestly. I think at this point, what I'm going to do is find the driver for the wireless card, let it run some updates, and then I'm going to list this thing. And I guess next time I check in with you guys, I'll let you know how long it took to sell.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys later. Okay, so minor update. Since neither of the PCI cards want to show up in Windows, I'm going to try that mystery PCIe card I had. If you remember, back when I was showing the different wireless card options I had, I showed you this card. Now you might be thinking, oh, but that's low profile, that's not going to fit, right? Well, I might be able to get it to fit. Because I'm thinking I can swap the bracket from one of the full-sized ones, and it might just be the right size. Although it doesn't look like it's going to be that Linksys card. I'm hoping this other one, the Dynex one, will be. And if that's not the right size, then I guess I'm going to have to just forego the wireless, because I don't really have another option right now. Especially since, for whatever reason, it'd be one thing if it just said, oh, you know, no driver found. But it's acting like they're not there. It's ignoring them, which is concerning. It's concerning to me that it's doing that. And yep, that's not right either. Look at that. Yeah, because if I put it there, it'd be sitting up way too high. That's not going to work. That's a bit disappointing. Yeah, because I don't think I have any other recourse for making this work, unfortunately. I think those were my options. Yeah, because looking in here, the only other stuff I have is, like, these. I've got tons of these. Like, look at this. Seriously, look at all the variety of these cards I have. Like, I've got tons of these laptop cards. Heck, I even have an airport card. But, oh, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Check that out. I've got 2 different USB wireless adapters. Let's go for the let's go for the Netgear one. And now that I know that these are just either dead or the system's just ignoring them, either way, I guess I'll put them back in storage and try them again on a different PC a different day, but kind of sad that they're just being completely ignored like that. Like, what is going on there? And, like I said before, new battery to replace this Energizer one in here that apparently is either dead or it's just not happy with. I'm not sure which. So let's get that out. I need a flat tip. Where is it? There we go. Flat tip. Yep, there we go. So that's... Oh, okay, it's kind of stuck. I probably should have done this before I put the graphics card in. But, yeah. There we go. And we'll put the new battery in. And hopefully that will solve the CMOS checksum errors we've been getting. Plus, it's probably for the best that I put a new one in anyway. No date code or anything, so I have no idea if this is good. Actually, there's one way you can test. Yeah, no, this is totally dead. There's a trick you can do where you put it on your tongue, and if you feel like a tingle, it means there's still some juice in it, but I felt nothing. So I'm going to go with there's no juice at all left in that. Okay. May as well put the bracket cover back in. Well, I suppose this is fine. This way, whoever gets the PC can add whatever cards they want in here. The only exception being... Well, I guess they could add a new graphics card if they really want. I mean, it is their PC. They can do whatever they want with it. Whatever they feel is right. Right? Let's go ahead and stick the wireless USB, which, looking at this USB, I actually remember this thing. I got it at a garage sale at a church. They had like a whole bunch of junk that people from the congregation donated, and you could buy it. And I believe I paid the princely sum of 50 cents for this. So I guess if it doesn't work, I'm not going to be too upset about it. You know, I'm only going to be out 50 cents, but I've never actually tested it. It's been sitting here. It is a wireless in adapter, so it's at least going to be faster than that PCI one I was going to use. So I suppose there's that benefit. Let me just stick it under the Ethernet cable, and we'll switch to the other camera and make sure it's working. Okay, and we're back. Gonna make sure that wireless card works before we go too long. And I also want to double check and make sure that the key that I put in is actually going to be happy. Like, I want to make sure that it's going to like that key. So, yep, as you can see, got the time okay, got the date okay. And, yep. Wait, PCI. Shouldn't it be PCI EX16? Yeah, there we go. 2 mouse, onboard LAN. Yep. Cool, check that out. Alright. Again, why is virtualization always disabled? Oh well. I suppose it's not going to be important for this PC, unless whoever buys it really wants to run some virtual machines, which I kind of doubt. It's kind of a niche thing anyway. But you know. Time to see if that wireless card is working. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually pretty excited to see the end of this project. Not because I dislike working on it, but you know, I like being able to move. I like being able to definitively say, okay, this one's done. And hey, look at that. That came up fast. Oh, and look, it's already set up. Right? Is that it? Or is that a different thing? Oh, wait a minute. I saw something that said driver unavailable. That's not a good error to get. Alright. I think I might have to go... Yep, see, there it is right there. What is that? That's a Netgear, right? Yep. Okay, let's find the driver for that and get that set up. Netgear, WNA... What did it say? WNA 1100. Okay. Oh, I should probably put this in Google first. Because as we saw earlier, Bing search, not wonderful. I suppose it works fine, but not for this. Downloads. Downloads. There we go. Go away. I don't need you. Hey, there we go. So there's the driver. Ooh, and it's a signed driver, too. Well, they're all signed these days. But I remember the days when they weren't. Wasn't that long ago. Alright. Yep, driver only. That's what we want. Okay. Update driver. And we'll just go straight to the desktop. Moment of truth. What? No drivers. But they're... Oh! Really? Okay, whatever. Okay, I was hoping it would just be an INF file. Didn't realize it'd be a whole executable. Of course. Under the guise of making things easier, it's just an executable. I really wish it would have just been the actual driver file itself, though. Like, I don't know. That's one of those pet peeves I have. Especially, like, if you go to a third-party site and they promise it's just going to be the INF file, you download it, and, oh, hey, look, it's a .exe for the launcher for the website that you used, which then downloads it. And it's like, no, just freaking download it right the first time, you cretins. And hey, look at that. We got Wi-Fi. Okay, that makes me happy. So this, I think, is going to be good to go. I'm not seeing any problems. Yep, look at that. It's running very smooth. And what about activation? Is it saying that it's activated? Well, it's not saying it's not. PC is monitored and protected. Yeah, okay, I think it's probably fine. Cool, so I'm going to let it update, and we'll see if it has any trouble with activation or anything. And if it does, we can go from there, but I think it's going to be okay. It did say Windows 10 Home, right? Well, yeah, okay, it's got to be, because I think that's what the key was for Windows 7 Home Premium, which I think just translates to Windows 10 Home. Cool, okay. So, that works. Let's just go ahead and give it some updates, and I think we'll be good. Alright, thanks for tuning in for that little update, and I'll give you guys the final update soon. Everybody, Editing Mark here, and as you can see, I'm hard at work finishing up this particular video. And yeah, I decided to just come in and give you guys a quick update about relevant things. So, first of which, here's the PC itself down here. You can see it has not yet moved. It has been a few weeks. I have listed it. It is for sale. Nobody has bid yet. I mean, I get it. Times are hard, economy and all that. I think I might hang on to it for a couple more weeks, and if nobody bites, then I'll just sell it. Another thing I did was I actually burned a DVD with all the software, like all the drivers that it didn't pick up, and just kind of shoved it in the side, along with the Windows 10 disk. I just taped it to the inside of the case and called it a day. So, in conclusion, I guess the only thing I can really say about this project is it's taken a lot longer than I wanted, and I hope it's going to be done soon. Hope somebody buys it and is happy with it. Until then, good luck on your own projects, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.